we head to the rainforest of Costa Rica. We're going to spend a little bit of time with OSA Conservation. So OSA Conservation was founded in 2003. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to protecting globally significant biodiversity of the OSA Peninsula. So all kinds of activities done there, from restoring damaged and degraded ecosystems, looking after and monitoring marine ecosystems, creating corridors for wildlife, camera traps to see what kind of biodiversity is out there. It's an amazingly biodiverse place. There is, on a mere portion of the Earth, 0.000000085% of the Earth's total surface area. There's 2.5% of the entire biodiversity on the planet. So joining us today, we have Paulina Rodriguez. She's a conservation technology and anti-hunting strategist with OSA Conservation. And we also have Frank Chavez joining us, a local tour guide, a rainforest protector in the OSA Peninsula, Costa Rica. So let's bring them both in with us today. Hi, Paulina and Frank. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Hola.
How are you?
Good, good. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us on World Ranger Day today.
Thank you.
All right. Well, why don't we start off? Paulina, why don't you go first and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, as you already said, I'm a conservation technology strategist in the OSA Peninsula, in OSA Conservation. Of course, we have some threats here, like poaching, illegal hunting, illegal logging. What we have been doing, like, we think that the main efforts be in collaboration, because we can do it all by our own, right? So we want to make this conservation work with the community and surrounding areas in the OSA Peninsula. We have been working with 30 elite rainforest protectors, and we want to make a bigger group soon. Frank is one of the rainforest protectors. We're monitoring the OSA Peninsula together with the community.
All right. Well, Frank, being a rainforest protector sounds like a great job, but I bet there's some challenges being in the rainforest and working in that environment. Can you tell us about some of the challenges you face?
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. We are living in one of the most diverse city places of the world. 10 challenges changed through time. I was born here 52 years ago. I remember when OSA Peninsula was very, very isolated. In order to be here, it was possible only by plane or by boat. Around 1980s, it changed. A big road was built, and then many things changed. More people comes, human pressure to the nature was increased. And I remember, for example, when I was a child, it was nice to see herbs, eucalyptus hair for some 100 mammals together. And now it's not common to see even 100, maybe less. Poaching, illegal logging, yes, illegal logging, illegal fishing, using illegal tools too. And we the humans in general need to learn how to respect, how to live with nature. It is one of the things, maybe in Occident, areas like this, we still learn. But fortunately, more and more people, local people, is involved in the process. This is our idea, like to plant a seed, plant born and grow up, more seeds will become, and more people will be involved. Civil people like me. I'm an Adrenaline Ranger. I work in Lapa River Lodge. and the hotel helped me with time and some things. And we depend on the tourism. For example, along pandemic, many things change. When the tourists decreases in the area, for hunters or for illegal logging, it was easier than before, because when people is walking around the protecting areas, tourists with guide, with local guide, then the people who is doing illegal things, they don't want to appear. But when the areas will be without people, it was terrible. Trust me, last year was a not good year for nature in this area.
Yeah, not surprising. No tourists there. It opens the area up to exploitation by humans, which is really unfortunate. Are you starting to see tourism starting to bounce back a little bit, or is it still too early?
Yeah, especially this year. For example, now maybe if we compare with the year before pandemic year, maybe we have like 40, 50% of tourism coming back to the country in general. And it's one of the things is animals now are easier to see than before. Maybe the year without people in protected area like this, because it is, for example, Osa Conservation is our neighbor. La Previous in Osa Conservation, we work together in order to preserve the nature. And it's possible to see more mammals, birds. It's amazing. But I know in another area, the history is different.
Wow, that's interesting that, a little over a year can have such an impact on the animal's behavior. So, Paulina. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, for example, the last year, when the hotel was closed, only some workers still living here. I remember even monkeys walking up the handrails to the main deck, toucans just perch 2 meters above the tables in the open area. It was amazing. And some of those still doing it.
Wow, very cool. Paulina, I'd like to ask you about a little bit more about the conservation technology you use. What kind of technology are you using when you're out in the field?
Well, it depends. We use a lot, like camera traps, acoustic devices. Now we're improving with mobile app of Render to work with community, so we can have all the information, all the alerts, and all the reports in one single app. So we have like a wide, open, spectral view of what's going on in the peninsula. That's why we start training this amazing group of people. Also, several of them are guides, like tourism guides. So they're moving along, like different places, reporting what's going on, and we can view, like in real time, what's happening. So we can take action.
Yeah, great. Earth Ranger, that is so cool. We had an event earlier today from Lewa Nature Conservancy in Kenya, and they were using Earth Ranger in their control center to monitor the whole conservancy as well as the communities around. And so we had a great demonstration where they had, elephants that were collared and where their planes were, where their canine units were, what kind of activities were happening in the community. Earth Ranger is such a great program to explore and really, get a feel for what's happening in and around a protected area.
Yeah, we're starting using it. We're learning. We're in the process of learning. We're also learning, not just the whole group. Like the whole group is learning. So we're starting. But hopefully, with time, we'll want to build that amazing things that have done in Kenya and other places of Africa.
Yeah. Technology really does have a lot of potential for conservation. It's very exciting.
Yes, for sure. nowadays, like with technology, we can have real-time alert report uh, of camera traps, of mobile apps. So it will be really like the action can be faster than the days before.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I want to check in. I know we have a little bit of a tight time. So if you do have to leave and get back to work, Frank, I don't want to keep you too long, but if you have a couple minutes, I'd love to ask another question or two.
Okay, my boss give me permission for some more minutes. No problem.
Yes. All right. Well, thank your boss for me. I appreciate it.
I will.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, I mean, the Osa Peninsula is one of the most biologically diverse, places on the planet. So much life and so important to protect it. And so many things that are found, potentially nowhere else on the planet. So, Frank, I wonder, and maybe Pauline, you can answer this too. And maybe this is an impossible question, but I wonder, what do you get most excited to see in the wild? Either Paulina, when you're out using technology, or Frank, when you're out on patrol and or even out guiding. What's your favorite thing to see in the wild?
Wild cats in this area, for example, jaguar. I saw ocelot. Maybe in the last years, I saw the 8 or 9 times, especially at night. Even I saw like year long pandemic one hunting howler monkey just 25 meters far from me. I was walking in the jungle just for enjoying the walking. It happened. No camera, no evidence, but I never forget it. But I will be in one moment. I will see a jaguar by myself. We saw in trap cameras a jaguar.
Yeah.
When I watched, I remember people talking about not jaguar. Now it's not easy to see. Trust me.
No. I imagine you'd be. I think if I saw a jaguar, I think you'd be more excited. I'd feel really lucky, to be able to see one, and I'm sure you'd feel the same way.
Sure. For me, everything's amazing because I was born and raised in San Jose, so a completely different habitat environment.
Yeah.
And being here is like a paradise. We are monitoring papers with camera traps right now. So I see the footprints and the tracks is really amazing. But you know what? It's more amazing for me here. It's how like to see a lot of communities motivated on conservation. Like communities, normal people, not governmental. It's just communities, normal people that are really involved in conservation. They're all trying to work together to make this place even better.
Yep. So, I imagine education is a big part of each of your jobs. Would you say that's true? Education is a big part of your job, working in the local community, passing on ideas for sustainable practices, things like that?
Sure. Like, I think it's like the first step, Education is one of the first steps to try to take actions. We have working with the farmers, eco-friendly activities. We have worked with communities. We have a environmental education program that works with kids in different schools along the peninsula. On importance of different animals and ecology of animals, of different habitats also, like the importance of the rainforest and the biodiversity in the Osa Peninsula. And here with the pandemic, like the pandemic is what happens when you break an habitat, like you get in real contact with animals, you destroy stuff, and basically destroy us.
Huh. All right. Well, I think we have time for maybe one more question. We'll see how our time goes. But I'd like to know if each of you can think of a time that you were out and doing your job, a time that you kind of just paused and said, I love my job. This is such a great job. Can you think of a time like that? Probably every day, if I had to guess.
Well, for me, monitoring the Gulf of Rica that frog is some endemic endangered species from the peninsula, and just seeing this tiny frog, it was amazing. Where she was like she lives into the forest, and a really amazing view, like it, near the streams, but into the forest. Amazing,
Very
beautiful,
cool.
like.
What about you, Frank?
Yes. Uh, I told you I was born and grew up here, and climate is changing, nature is changing, we the humans are changing, but not all the changes are exactly good. We are making more pressure at the environment, at the protected areas, and at the hotel I work as a naturalist guide too. And I work in many positions, but I love to guide in the forest to show the tourists to the people and do a little bit of environmental education. For example, for free, in my free time, sometimes I love when we share with OSA conservation team and with children from little towns around here, and we teach to the children and teenagers about birds or nature in general. When children, when people in general learn about something and understand, I think it's easier to love than before, because people will learn the relationships between everything in nature. And it's amazing to see smiling faces when people is really involved learning and feel the passion, share the passion with another people for nature.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Especially with the younger generation, I think you'd agree it's so important to inspire them, get them excited about the natural world around them, and turn them into mini rainforest protectors.
Yeah, for sure. That would be a goal. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Well, I think let's try and maybe squeeze in one more question here. And Frank, I'm curious about your role as a rainforest protector. What do you find yourself doing when you're in that role? What are your main responsibilities?
Um, like leading people, because more and more people is really interested in to do something to give back something to nature. Some people is understanding about the damage like human beings we are doing along the time to the nature, but some people don't know how to do that. What about people ask? What about education? What about monitoring? What about protecting? And the idea is to help the people to join the effort and to increase the quantity of the people to teach. And maybe the more difficult thing is to transmit not only information, the feeling, the passion. And for me, the most amazing thing is when I know a person who was like a hunter in the past, and now he's really involved in protection. It's like I don't know, it's not easy to explain, but it's a very amazing thing. It's a responsibility not only to protect, it's transmit and to create and increase the quantity of the more and more groups.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah, I love hearing stories like that. Those are the kind of stories that kind of keep you going on those tough days. Those little successes that you can look back at and say, yep, that's why I do this, and that's why I'm going to keep doing it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Paulina and Frank, such a pleasure to have you joining us live on World Ranger Day from the Osa Peninsula. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm down here looking out my window here in Canada, and it's pretty cloudy. I think it's going to rain. I think you guys look like you have a nicer day going on over there. A little bit jealous.
Really nice and funny and warm with the tea in the back. Yeah. Beautiful
Yeah.
view.
All right, good stuff. Well, we always love connecting with OSA Conservation. All the projects that you're working on are absolutely incredible, from the rewilding of the rainforest, to projects using the audio sensors to listen for sounds in the rainforest. All great stuff, and I can't wait till we can connect again and learn more about what you're up to. And I'm excited that you're learning Earth Ranger. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, we have.
Yes.
At the beginning, we have, yeah.
All right. Well, again, Frank, don't forget to say thank you to your boss. And I hope you both have a great rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you for the invitation also.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your stories with us.
Bye-bye.